is the exercise that we discussed before. Write a client program that enter some students. So you can access a student class which have two attributes, which is name and GPA. And we want to get the maximum and the average of the GPA. So let's say I have the number of students, I input 3. And then I have student 1 is Bob, student 1 GPA is 2.5. I have student 2 is Chloe, I have student 2 GPA is 3. I have student 3 David, I have the student 3 GPA is 3.1. The student with the best GPA is David, and the average GPA is 2.86. Now, what can we do for this problem? I can set up a class like this one. So the student is the class name, and then I will make name as string with private because it is minus. I will make a GPA as a double type, and it is a private. And then I have a student, which is a constructor. How do I know that it is a constructor? Because it is the same with the class name. And in this constructor, I have two parameters, which is the S name, is a string, and then G is the GPA, and it is a double. So I have the get name, get GPA. So this is the accessor, or we want to get the data using this method, and we have the mutator, or we want to set the name and we want to set the GPA. So the first we can make the student class. Okay, this is the student class. We have two data members, name and GPA. Okay. And the first is string and the second is double, and then both of them are private. We have one constructor, which is we have two parameters. Okay. So this is the constructor. We have two parameters. We have this dot name equals to name, and this dot GPA equals to GPA. So why do we use this? This. This, the word this, it is to distinguish the variables. As you can see, there is name. Okay, we have name here, and we also have name here. It means we have two names. The word this dot name, it will be the instance variable. Okay. And the word name, it is the value from the argument. So you will have this name here. It will be in this variable, but this dot name, it refers to the instance variable. And I want to have the get. There are two get. This is get name, it returns string, and then get GPA, it returns double. And I have two set. The first is set name and the other is set GPA. And I have one parameter here is name for the string data type and GPA for a double data type. Both of them are void, so we put void here. Actually, yeah, we can put the parameter here, but I didn't put the parameter. So you can put the parameter in the student class. What about the student client program? So the student client program, we have to write the main method. What is this main method? We want to know how many students do we need to input. Yeah, in this case, I have input and how many students. First, I will put it into the variable num of stu. So this will be the integer value. So once I have the integer value, I will create an array from the student class. Okay. I create an array of the student class. When I have the array, I need to define how many size. So the size of the array will be the same with the input from the user. And then I will create a total, a variable total, which is double. And then I create a variable index, and then I create a variable maximum. Because I want to check what is the maximum, and then the index. I need to know the index of each of the student, because I need to return back the student who get the maximum GPA. So I will do the for loop. For I until from 0 until the number of student. So you will input the name, which is a string, and you will input the GPA, which is a double. And then you will need to enter the student name and GPA. So I insert this one, student name comma GPA means I would like to input the student name and the student GPA into the array index 0. After I have the array index 0 here, then I would like to increase the GPA into the variable total, because I will need to have the average later. And then now I'm checking. If the GPA is greater than maximum, then I need to get the index of that particular student. And then the max will be the new max comma GPA. So it will be compared with the maximum of GPA. So let's say if I have the GPA is 2.5. So the maximum is 2.5 now. Oh, sorry. The maximum is 0. At the first time is 0. And then when I input the GPA here, the input is 2.5. So this is the maximum. The first maximum is 0. Now there is a condition. GPA is greater than maximum. So 2.5 is greater than 0. Yes. Because it is yes, then the index will be updated to I. So the I will be 0. And then the maximum will be the maximum comma GPA. The maximum is 0 and GPA is 2.5. So the maximum will be changed to 2.5. Okay. And so on. If I have another value 3.0, then it will be checked. If the GPA, the current GPA is 3, and I want to check with the current max. The current max is 2.5. Then it will be changed to this new GPA. So we can use this function to update the GPA. After we finish this for loop, we want to check what is the best GPA for the student. In this case, the best GPA is the student at the index. So this is the index that we define here. And then we want to get the name. I want to get the name. After I can show the name, I want to know what is the average of the GPA. So the average of the GPA is the total divided by the number of students. Okay. Now, I would like to teach you if we have the static method. What does it mean by static method? What is the difference between static method and instance method? Okay. Static method versus instance method. So in the static method, as you know, the word static, okay, there will be no changes. If it is instance method, it will be based on the instance. So the data will be based on the instance. The data will be based on the subject. So for example, if I have student 1, okay, student 1 is the GPA is 3.0, and then I have student 2, the GPA is 2.5. The student 3, let's say the GPA is 3.6. Again, I have another student 4, let's say the GPA is 4.1. Okay. Then for the method, if I want to get a particular data, then I will be able to get the data based on the instance. Based on the instance. So for every instance, I would like to get the GPA. But the static method, it is for all the possible value. For example, in this case, I would like to know the GPA. If the GPA is greater than 3.5, then let's put the grade equals to excellent. But if the grade is not greater than 3.5, let's just put it is general. So the string will start with blank. There will be no values, and we will have the condition. If the GPA is greater than 3.5, we will have this statement. If true, we will have this statement if it's false. And we will return grade. So a static method can be executed without any instance. And an instance method should be executed from an instance or an object. That's the difference. Now I have the student min2. What does it mean by student min2? In the student min2, the first part is the same. The only difference is now I'm using the ArrayList. Do you still remember what is ArrayList? So we can use ArrayList if we have an array and we do not know about the size. So let's say I want to add the data as the user wants, but I do not know and I do not want to get the input from users like the previous example. In the previous example, I defined the number of students as 3, but now I do not want to have that number. So I can just prepare an array list. So just in case if the size is changed, then we can still use this one. So the total will be 0, index is 0, I 0, and the maximum is 0. Now I have while true. as long as the condition is true, let's do this repetition. The first is I would like to get the name, and then I would like to get the GPA. Now I have stew dot add. What is stew? Stew is the variable name for the array list. And then I'm going to add, what I'm going to add is a new object from the student. So I do not give any name for the student. In the previous part, I have the name of the object is still at index I. But here, the next example, I do not give any index here because it is an array list. So in array list, as you might know, the previous section, we discussed about how to add some numbers, how to add tar properties. So in this case, I would like to add a new student. So the new student will be added into the ArrayList STU. And then I would like to do the statistics, the total. So the total plus equal GPA. If GPA is greater than maximum, then again we will do this one. We need to have an action I plus plus. So I should be added by 1 every time we finish all this procedure. Now I make a new statement. So we need to define when our program should finish. In this case, the word continue is a question and it waits the answer. If the answer is no, then break. So stop the repetition. I think let's better, we better to see from the example in the Eclipse. So in the student main.java, yeah, this is the example that you saw on the PowerPoint, and I already explained one by one. Now it is the student main2. In the student main2, we have the scanner input, and then we have the array list, and then we have this statement to break or to stop the repetition. Now we have 3 statements here with 1 error. So let's see how to solve this error. The first statement is to get the student with the best GPA. So we just use the index. Index is here. If the student has the highest GPA, so we save it into this index. And I would like to get the name of the student in that particular index. You still remember get? Get. So it means it is to get in the particular index of the array list. The average is the total divided by the student dot size. So in array list, we can define for the size. So the size will be the divisor of the total. And I would like to check the grade. I want to know what is the GPA. If the GPA is greater than 3.5, it is excellent. If it is not greater than 3.5, it is general. So here, I would like to say that there is no method of this one. You go here. The method check GPA is undefined for the type student. Now, if you don't have this one, you can check in the student main, student.java. Yeah, in the student.java, I give some statement, but the statement is under the comment. So this is the comment. So if you delete the comment, okay, after you delete the comment, you can make this statement in a good position, something like this. So if grade is greater than 3.5, then the grade will be excellent. Otherwise, grade will be general. So if you have this, then yeah, we will have. So if you save this one, then in the student main too, now the error will be disappear, because we can have one method. This is the static method, because this is the static method. And based on this static method, I want to check the GPA. So here I want to check the student.getIndex.getGPA. So this getGPA is from the student who are in this index. And then I want to check whether the highest student is having an excellent GPA or not. So let's see if I run this, maybe Bob, name Bob, and then I have the GPA. The GPA is 3.5. Okay. And then continue. Yes. So I have another, this is Chloe. So the GPA is 3.3. Okay. Continue. Yes. And then I have David. The GPA is 4.2. Okay. Continue. No. So the student with the best GPA is David. Okay. And then the average GPA is 3.67. And then we want to check the grade. The grade is excellent. Okay. How do we know that the grade is excellent? Because we are checking the grade from this one. This is the student with the highest grade, which is David. What is the GPA of David? It is 4.2. And what is 4.2? According to this, if it is greater than 3.5, then the grade is excellent. So we print the check the grade, and it is excellent. For example, I have another example, Bob. Maybe the GPA is 2.3. Yes. Let's say Chloe. The GPA is 2.5. Yes. And then I have another person. Let's say the name is David. And the GPA is 2.7, for example. Continue? No. So the student with the best GPA is David, because David is the highest one. The average is 2.5. Because 2.3 plus 2.5 plus 2.7 divided by 3. And what is the grade? Now we can see the result is general, because the best GPA, David, is only 2.7. Okay. So that will be the end of this object-oriented programming. And I'm explaining this using the ArrayList. So you can try this one. So the two additional class is about the ArrayList and the scanner. Okay. Any questions? Oh, Kim Ji-hyun. Okay. Okay. Okay, then I will continue. Because most of you are not in this class, maybe I will just explain the starting point of this course. Okay. So I think in the next class, we will do the graphical user interface. So what is graphical user interface? We are going to use GUI. We call GUI. This is the graphical user interface. And we are going to use WindowBuilder. I will explain how to use the GUI and then how we can use the GUI with various components and how we can make GUI with report. Okay. So this will be, I hope it is useful for your team project. So we are going to install the WindowBuilder. What is WindowBuilder? So the WindowBuilder is composed of SWT. SWT is the swing window. This swing window designer and swing designer makes it very easy to create the Java GUI application without spending a lot of time writing the code. So I will use this one for our class. So you don't need to type a lot of codes for use building the GUI. It uses the WYSIWYG. We call it YCWYG. What you see is what you get. Okay, so W is what, Y is you, S is C, is what you get. It uses the YCWYG Visual Designer and the layout tools can create simple forms to complex windows. And Java will create it for you. So you just drag and drop, you don't need to do many things. So how you can get this tool? So I will teach you. In your Eclipse, you can go to the help section. And in the help section, you can select Eclipse Marketplace. Okay, you can select the Eclipse Marketplace. Okay, hope you can see this one. And then in this Eclipse Marketplace, there are many libraries, there are many plugins. You can have a lot of things. You can see like this one, the Java 18 support Eclipse, Eclipse Web Developer, Palladio, and so on. Okay. So I'm going to use only this one, WindowBuilder. So you can copy this one into this WindowBuilder. So find WindowBuilder. And you can click go. So this WindowBuilder will show two types. Okay. So the first is this WindowBuilder, and the other is WindowBuilder Nightly Build. So for me and for this class, you better to install this one, install. Okay. So you can press install here. I will press install and it will install for you. So this will show you that WindowBuilder contain all the components like the Java 4, Java Swing Designer, SWT Designer, and so on. So if you already have this panel, you can just click confirm. And it takes some time. It depends on your computer. And of course, it depends on your internet connection. Because this will extract all the contents from the server of Java. If you cannot find this installation in the Eclipse Marketplace, you can go to this website, okay, download Eclipse Window Builder. So you can go here. There will be, there will be a kind of procedure how you can install it. So here you can see that you can install this Java Window Builder with this way. You can install in the Eclipse with this way. If you are okay everything with the first one, then you can skip the second way. So this is the result. So after I use the first one, okay, so this is the alternative way. After I find and then after I click install, the Eclipse will ask you, what is your preference? Are you going to accept the terms of license agreement or you are not accepting? So if you click accept, then there will be a button finish. So you can just click finish. And now Eclipse is working to install your software. So you can see here in the middle part, now it shows the installation of the software. And it takes time to install the software. Okay. I will stop here because you need some time to install this one. And please prepare this one until next Tuesday. Okay. Because on Tuesday, I will use this one. If you don't have this software, we cannot do the GUI. Okay. So if your friends did not attend this class today, please let them know that they need to install this one. And after the class, I will share the video so everyone can review on the e-class. Okay. Okay. Any questions?